Alright, there's my fancy bucket of well water. We're going to do pressure. That way we'll see where the bubbles are coming from. Plug's tight, decomp's tight. We'll see if my boot works. Let's see. Alright, there's the bubbles. Let me pump it up. So I have a leak, it looks like from each side of these transfers. We can't get any pressure built hardly at all. I'm trying. Alright, so definitely leaking around the weld on the front one. So that explains that. Let me see if I can get a better angle over here. If I can tell if it's the bolt hole. Right there, a pinhole underneath that fin from grinding it. You can see that. Decomp finally sealed, so that's not leaking. I was hitting it on the top of the bucket while I was looking. Alright, so I have a fin right here on the side of the transfers. That I have a itty bitty pinhole. Now when you're doing this, you need to make sure to rotate it around plenty of different ways to see where the bubbles are actually coming from. Now I got them coming from different places. And now that we're pumping it up, the base is leaking a touch. But we got bubbles in the corners, both on this side. Can't get enough pressure to really test the seals, but I'm going to say they're good. They're only a couple years old. So what we're going to do, pull it out, clean it up, and we'll put some JB Weld over those. But the decomp looks good, spark plug looks good, main seals look good, and the two boots that I did seem to be holding the no pressure I can generate. Now you don't want to do vacuum underwater because it's just going to suck it in and you're not going to see. So, dry this off, pull the cylinder, and get out our handy dandy epoxy. Alright, since I know that the case where I thought it was going to leak down here, or the seals or anything at the super low pressure that I can generate, isn't leaking, I'm going to remove the cylinder, put some sealant on it, bolt it to a base plate. Then I can inspect where the actual cylinder is leaking. So I'll just make a plug so I can pressurize it through the decomp hole, and then we'll be able to actually pinpoint where the cylinder is leaking. So we'll take this off, and we'll be able to see what a few minutes of actual runtime did to it. See how things are looking, make sure nothing's getting carried away. Need to come up with a better system for cleaning these cast iron cylinders before and bolting them down. They always look super dirty for the first tank or two. I don't know if that's just the iron on iron actually wearing in or what we've got going on, but they always just look a little bit extra dirty. At first I thought it was blow by from the rings, but I don't think that's the issue. That's all part of it. So I'm not perfect, still learning, still trying, still doing. Well, you can see just a little bit of run time. It's just got this coating to it. That is the oil, but it's just awful yucky looking. But the cylinder's looking good, no marks. A little bit of water in there, but no real marks. But you see that? That's just a nice, yummy coating. But it does go away after a few tanks, so that is a plus. So we'll get this all rinsed out, all cleaned up. So I need to make a plug for this. That way I can just bolt it back down. So from where the bubbles were coming, it was leaking around the weld here, right at the tip of this casting, and right in the center where the case gets awful thin at the front. Right here where the gasket and everything is. So I'll take good care to look at that. See what we can get. But like I said, we'll get this all cleaned up. I'll come back once I actually have this cylinder cleaned and dunked in the water, because I want to pinpoint exactly where. You see I ground through right here, so I did epoxy that, I knew that. But I didn't see any bubbles from this side at all, other than the very center here. But like I said, I'll clean it up and we'll dunk the cylinder in the water. Here's what we got. Made decomp, put a barb in it. That way I can check just the cylinder base. I know I've got issues. From what I could see on the saw, it was leaking just above this weld point. There's an itty bitty pinhole just below this fin, right in this area. So I wanted to dunk just the cylinder to see exactly where they are and make sure I'm not missing any others. So we'll put it in here, start pumping it up. You can see a nice little stream of bubbles. That fin. If I can get a little more pressure, it finally leaks out that side. So I know those are my two main ones. So I'll get those cleaned up. I'll put a little JB weld on them, let that cure.